for it to circle back, make sure my volume is fine. I hope y'all are doing great. Let me know how the sound is. We've made an upgrade. Yeah, it sounds like my volume is really low. Hold on 1 second. All right, how does that sound to y'all now? Let me know. Playing with some new stuff here. Hope y'all are all doing well. All right, that sounds great to me. Now, do I still need to bring it up a little bit more? Please let me know. Because on my side, it sounds fine. Okay, good. Hey, hello everybody. I've missed y'all. It's been a while. I went on vacation. I would say it was relaxing, but it wasn't. I mean, it was peaceful, but I ended up having some other wonderful stuff going on. Before I get started, I've moved my stuff around so I can hopefully be a little bit more organized. So if you haven't known, AJay the CEO, thank you for stopping by. We always have this live stream on Fridays, well, we try to where we answer your questions, and I try to do as best as I can to answer your questions. All I know is I don't know everything, but I want to share with y'all what I do know, hopefully to make this journey of y'all's a lot easier. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn this fan on because it's a little hot for me with all these lights on. Hope y'all are doing great. It just snowed last night, but I got to get on the road. Let's see. Can we do some shout outs here? Let's see who's out there. Red Hot Radio, hello. Michael, hello. Brandon, hello. New Christian Memorial Church, hello. The Harvest is Ready, hello. Josh, as usual, hello. Claude, Bryant, Clarence, Adam, Lyle, Joe, Angel, hello everybody. Hope y'all are all doing well. You know what? Let me go ahead and get the formalities out of the way. I was saying my vacation was good, but we had a little. Oh, Josh, the buzzing was I just turned my fan on. That's probably what you hear in the background. But oh, Edward, hello. Hello, everybody. Thank y'all so much. What I was saying is I was on vacation, and we ended up on the journey. I had a little conversation where somebody was talking to me, and he wanted me to start working on some stuff. So if you're on the Facebook group or you see me on Facebook, you probably already know this, but I am excited to announce to y'all we got a new book coming out. Yay! It's coming soon. You can, it's called, my first book was called Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. Now this one is Modern Media Ministry is Now Necessary. It is a reference guide for helping ministries go minister online from 2021 and beyond. Really excited about that. I am aiming for this to drop in May. First part of May, if not earlier. I will let y'all all know. But one thing is you can pre-order that book today on books.ajhomes.com. And what you would get with that is you'd get listed inside of the book, and you'd get it, a signed copy from me directed to you as a thank you, because this is for the community as well. So anyway, enough of me blabbing. Let's get to the questions, help y'all out. Let me jump to this one. Red Hot Radio had a question at the very beginning, so let's jump over to this. Why? Oh, maybe I need to check off trigger and overlay, and then it'll actually come up. Let's try it again. There we go. All right. Red Hot Radio wants to know, my question is how to capture multiple instant replay angles. I have multiple cameras, but OBS only captures the scene in program. Yeah, unfortunately, that is the limitation of it. To my knowledge, there is no way to capture the other angles and recall them at the same time. Yeah, unfortunately, there is no way to do that right now. Let's see. Next question I see on here. Actually, Brandon brought something to my attention that I did not know, that there's supposed to be a new update happening pretty soon with Black Magic. I did not know of that, so let's go ahead and check out their page here to see what is going on. Now, I have a lot of things on my wish list for this, but I have no idea what may be coming. Yeah, there's nothing on there. Well, oh, wait a minute. If I go to the right page, that would actually help, AJ. So if we cut over here to desktop, and then let me get up out of the way. Boom. And let's turn the comments off. All right, so there seems to be an A10 Mini and a camera update. Yeah, I'm really hoping for some additions or revisions to the ATEM television studio, not the Mini. I hope it's just a firmware update, because if they do something else, ATEM Mini Pro ISO quad core 4K enhanced deluxe overdrive edition, I think it's starting to get a little complicated with all that extra stuff on there. But oh well, we shall see when it drops, whatever that may be. And let me get my image back here. All right. So let's go to the next one. Man, a lot of y'all out there. Thank y'all so much. New Christian Memorial Church wants to know, how can I mount my Nikon DSLR and GH5 to still be able to connect to my laptop at least 50 to 60 feet away? You would either need to go with a HDMI to Ethernet converter, or go with an HDMI to SDI and then convert it back. So if we go over here to, and I don't know, I need to turn on, keep my overlay on. So if we go over here, you would need to do an HDMI over Ethernet extender. Now, I've used a couple of these, have a bunch of videos about these. Something like this, I've used the Aura brand, works very well, especially at that distance. If you go to 100 feet, more than 100 feet, more than 120, go with a HD-based T version that can go 500 feet, or you need to convert it back to SDI. SDI can go 300 feet. That would be the easiest. So I'm assuming if you have two devices, you're having some type of switcher on the other side or something like that, but that would work for you. And I really need to make some type of macros to make this easier. I'm trying some new stuff here. I had a video that I haven't finished yet, but let me show you my new sound system we got here. We have the Rode Podcaster. That's what I'm using right now. Really liking that so far. We got a video coming soon. Got a video coming soon about that. Press too many buttons here. Yeah, but hopefully that should help you. That's page 3, page 2. Let's see what our next question is. Adam here. AJ, I've been using OBS at our church for services for about 3 months. Since then, found something called DroidCam for OBS. What do you know about it? It can be zoomed in and out with it. No, I don't think you can. DroneCam, I've actually used that before. It's kind of like it just turns your phone into an interface so that OBS can talk to it, and you can use it as a secondary camera or something like that. I think it's over the network or it's over cable. You have an option. Yeah, you can't control it remotely to zoom in and out. But somebody would have to be on it. That's what I know last time I used it, which was about a year ago. I don't know if they've done updates on it yet. Angel, and I had this I'm using my what is it? NDI, so I can read this, but it's going slow here. I'm having problems recording on the ATEM Pro. I stream our service to Facebook, medium low. Also, I record it, and the video I upload it to Facebook the next day. Facebook don't like it. Why? That could be a bunch of stuff. I need a little bit more information about that. Because I know sometimes YouTube does this. If it detects that the video is exactly the same, it's like, why are you uploading the same thing? And it won't let you. I know YouTube does that. I think Facebook does that too. I'm not 100% sure. Are you editing it in any way, shape, or form? Also need to know what message you're getting when it's giving you that issue. Claude here. We just bought the ATEM Mini for our church, and we are the audio from the soundboard to our cameras. Is there any tips you can give us on syncing the video and the audio? Now, rephrase that. I might be missing that. Excuse me. You're running. How are you connecting the sound? Wait a minute. You're pulling the audio from the audio board to our cameras. Honestly, it should be in sync. That's how I'm doing right now. My audio is going into the ATEM right now from the Rodecaster, just like I normally do. So it's plugged in right here, and I'm coming into the audio jack, and I don't have any issues. So I'm not exactly sure, and I need to turn this on because this is getting annoying. Hold on a second. I might as well show y'all. So if y'all have that question as well too. Now let's cut over to PC. Get me out of the way. And I want to maintain my transitions so I don't have to keep pressing this. And of course, it's in the setup. Connection, setup, settings. I want to stay. And right now, and watch now that I've changed that, I'm going to be mad that it's not going back to the way I normally would want it to be. And just that quick, I forgot what I was talking about. Let me go back to the question that you had here. All right, so from a syncing standpoint, I have my audio coming through fine, going through the mic connection. You could try and connect it to your camera, and then it's bringing audio over to HDMI in. But honestly, if you're having a syncing issue, only time I haven't really noticed the syncing issues is because either the computer wasn't fast enough to process both, because you're bringing in the audio to the computer and not the ATEM. Let the ATEM handle that syncing. And ever since the update, I know a lot of people said they've run the ATEM for a long period of time and then it gets out of sync. I've recorded for hours and mine hasn't gotten out of sync. So I haven't experienced that from the beginning when people used to have that issue. But give me some more detail on how you have it set up. Are you going from your soundboard into the ATEM, or are you going from the soundboard into your computer? Let's see what else we got. Brother Art from Phoenix, hello. El Fisher, hello from Hunting Beach, California. I haven't been there. I was really close to going to California, but I didn't want to be on a plane for that long with, with a lot of people. At least not right now. Let's see. Hey, thank you, Donnell, for the super chat. Thank you so much. Now, for y'all who are new on this, normally I'm looking at the chats through vMix that come up slower than when y'all are doing it live. So I'm not missing y'all. That's just how this is showing up here. Carriers of the Covenant Ministries, hello, hello. D. Johnson, hello. Thank you as well. Josh, real quick, Josh wanted to know, when does the pre-orders signed copies end? Honestly, I think I might regret this. It's the first 1,000. So I'm going to be doing some Mr. B signing stuff like that for each one and addressing it to y'all, hopefully, as long as it doesn't get kind of crazy. And again, I'm doing this because, I don't, I hope y'all would know me well enough that, like, I don't just take the money and just be getting all fancy and stuff like that. I take whatever that comes in to help give it back in the ways that I possibly can. So this is a way of, the way I'm pricing it out, and being all honest, I'm able to get it at author copies, and I'm limited to 1,000. So I'm going to get 1,000 author copies. That's what I'm going to sign, and then I will ship them to you. After that, then they'll be available on Amazon. So this is my way of saying thank you, because, you're helping make this book happen. And that's why I want to put in there, list everybody who actually helped, and list y'all in the book as well, too. So this is going to be a lot bigger than my first book, because a lot of people said this is kind of short. So this is going to be long in here as well. James, how easy is it to run a production remotely using the AJay Mini Pro? Would you suggest doing it through Google Desktop or directly remoting into the AJay if that is possible? Are you going to say that the AJay Mini Pro is at the location and you're just remoting into the computer to control it? That is possible. I have done that at my church. But we have the full AJay, but honestly, the functionality is going to be the same. I remoted in so that I am seeing OBS, which would give me a view of what's going on. There's no way for you to see the multi-view, but I would say Google Desktop, but I would be very limited on how I would run that service. Like, if I've done it, I would keep it in one shot, but then, yeah, because if you're doing it remotely, at least for me, I can't control the cameras. So you would need to make sure, well, actually, I can't even turn my cameras on unless I'm physically there. But I would say remote desktop, Google Remote Desktop, if all the cameras and angles and stuff like that are handled a separate way, you should be able to do it that way. Let's see. Francisco, what's going on? Samuel. If I have two projectors coming out coax, how do I make those into a monitor for my streaming computer? I have two projectors coming out coax. So I'm assuming that you have two projectors that have SDI out. How do I make those into a monitor for your screen? Honestly, if you just have do a HDMI to SDI converter, it will show up just as a monitor. That's all you really need. Now the good thing is I don't have one here. Let me do this. Let's cut over. And it's still not saving my transitions. All right. So if we come over here, and let me get my controls out of the way. And let's do BH photo. And if we do a HDMI to SDI converter, so this would work because it gives you one HDMI in, but it gives you dual SDI outs. So you could use that, and that should be able to do it. And that's really all you need, because the computer is just going to make sure that both of the projectors support the same resolution, because if you don't, that was the issue I had at Lebanon. All the TVs that we installed were 4K, and then the one in the fellowship hall was 1080p, and then the one in the pastor's office was 720p. It's going to look for the lowest common denominator based off of which monitor is turned on first. So if I turn my pastor stuff on first, well, actually, it wouldn't have worked anyway, because the pastors wouldn't show up at all because the A10 Mini can only push out 1080p. So the TV in the fellowship hall and the ones in the sanctuary that I installed work perfectly fine. But that other one won't work. You need to make sure that all of them can be supported. Thank y'all so much for the people who dropped in on the pre-order. I really appreciate that. But that's what you would do, and that's what I've done, and it works great. You can also, I mean, these are much cheaper now than what I used to use. What I used to use was the Ori XD700. This is what, and they dropped in price, but when we originally got these, this is what we use at our church. When we first set up everything, these were like $100, and they've dropped in price, but you can get something significantly better, and this does the same thing. 2 outputs. This is what we have with our Canon camera at the front and sends out, but it will work the exact same way. You would put your computer going into the input, and then you would have dual SDI outs going to your projectors. Should be very simple for you. Yeah, I need to do some macros to make this easier. All right. Hopefully that answers your question there, sir. Let me see. Where did I leave off at? All right. The harvest is ready. And the laborers are few. We're capturing other monitors. You could use the okay. Well, thank you. You're answering some questions here. Michael. We experienced black screen with our ATEM last week with OBS. Do I have to update or reinstall the drivers to get it back? Yeah, experienced a black screen. I don't know. I haven't updated mine. Mine is still on 8.5.2. I think it's 8.5.3 is the update. I haven't had any issues with that. I know I have had some issues with the deck links, and I talked about that in our Facebook group on how to fix that. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? This background is getting on my nerves, so sorry. Let me turn this off, and we're going back to just the old classic green screen. How about that? And that'll make it a lot easier. Give me a second. There we go. See, now y'all can see my dirty stuff behind, my disorganized stuff. So now I can just stay here and make these changes a lot easier, and I don't have to jump back and forth to the software control. Yeah, I need some more detail on that, Mike. Send me an email. Let me see what we can do from that. And Josh, I just remember Yep, thank you. Yeah, we do have a round table. I'm going to be back in town for we to do it. I'll send out a code on Facebook shortly after this. And yes, no live streams in the group, folks. Like, you know, the other thing, Josh, I need to do is I was getting ready to look for a GIF. I don't know. Let me take a side part. When y'all are communicating with y'all's folks at the church, do you have that burning pain like I do when everybody hits the reply all button? Like, stop hitting the reply all. Like, just hit a reply. You don't need to blast everybody. I don't know. Maybe that's just a pet peeve for me. Red Hot Radio, you are welcome. Hey, Lau. I am too. I was working on it, and it is super, super long. Now, I really need to be careful with this. I'm letting y'all know I'm getting ready to do something. But please do not take this out of control. And I'm going to edit this out in the final record number. That's my office number. And I'm going to delete that. So that whole section that we just did is going to be gone. And let me make a marker there so I remember to get rid of that part. So let's get back over here. Back to Samuel. Is there a place where I can find graphic cards that's not $1 million? Unfortunately, no. That's the sad thing. That's why I did the video about the new updated parts list. It's people that are scalping parts like crazy, just like if you try and find a PlayStation 5 or any new tech. You know, the pandemic has kind of knocked people out, and people are, like I saw, it's a live stream that just shows a bot checking every website, and it does a sound when a certain piece of equipment is available. The only thing I would say, Samuel, is go directly to a company like EVGA. They make them. Go there because they're the people that make it. It ships from them. But again, you go there to their website. All their stuff is back ordered as well too. And yeah, I don't like having to cut corners when it comes to video cards. But unfortunately, this is just how it is. Unfortunately. Bob Powell 377 is here. And I have a question about Chrome Remote Desktop. Can multiple Chrome users access the same machine? I like to give another person on my team access, but not with my account. No, it has to actually be within an account. I actually had a church that I set up that way, and they have they actually put a new account on their stuff, and it got knocked out. And actually, let me see. I'm going to crank the volume up a little bit through the ATEM. All right. No. It's linked to the account. So once you change the account to give somebody else access, it will knock yours out, unfortunately. Now, what I do with mine is I have an account just for our ministry to where everybody has access to it, and all of the account remotes are in that account. And then that way, that's one of those accounts that's not your personal, and everybody can log in that way. That might be another option for you. All right, back to Claude here saying you have the soundboard connected to the camera. So if it's out of sync, that doesn't... I'm not sure on that one. Because you shouldn't get an out of sync issue if you're going directly, if it's going in the camera. So let's see. Because we go in here to our audio. See, there's no sync delay on the actual sources. It's only a sync delay on the mics coming in. Now, I guess, what type of system are you running with everything being connected to? So my first thing is maybe the system is having an issue processing both at the same time. Because if it's coming through the camera, it would just act just like it's audio coming from the mic from the camera. So it shouldn't be a sync issue. So let's jump over here to Harvest. Yes, I will ship wherever if you pre-order. It might take a little bit longer, but yes, if you do the pre-order, this is me covering and helping whichever way possible for those who support with the pre-order. So yes, I will ship there. So you want to know what the book is about? Let me give you a sneak peek into the manuscript. And I'll let you see at least the topics that we're going to be covering. I don't want to steal the thunder of it, but here we go. So far we're talking about building a media ministry, and let me jump to this because what the process is this process circle. This is my mindset of anytime I'm trying to do anything from a media ministry standpoint. We start with the purpose. That's where you define it clearly. And who in the world? Hold on a second. Let me turn this off. We just got to unplug the phone. How about that? All right, but anyway, the whole book has, let me jump back here. So now my train of thought got over here. The book is talking about a reference guide of how to go from handle whatever feature that we're talking about from a media ministry in layman's terms, and a complete guide walking you through everything. So that's why I said some of this stuff is going to be a lot longer than a traditional book. This isn't a book that you read from beginning to the end. This is the type of book that it's like if your ministry wants to do one of these things, you go to the chapter and it will give you a strategy and a plan and a process to implement it in your ministry, as well as let everybody understand the mind shift change that needs to happen to start doing this stuff. So how to establish a digital footprint, how to develop a website, how to upgrade your congregation, get them to understand that understanding worship is not just sitting inside a building and not demonizing people being outside, but then also seeing how that's empowering other people to share the ministry in different ways. Developing, effectively communicating to your congregation, ministry SOP, standard operating procedure, effectively using social media for your ministry and stop spamming people. Establishing online giving, live streaming in your church, live streaming outside of the church, preaching or teaching without an audience. I've had so many ministers talk about, I feel comfortable being inside the sanctuary and people being in the congregation, and I don't know about how to talk and there's nobody there. It's stuff like that. It's really meant to be a guide to try and help in technical as well as practical applications on how to effectively minister online. As well as one of the other chapters is creating generational specific content, meaning don't just put a camera in the back of the church, come up with different content that caters to different generations instead of being lazy and wanting everybody else to conform to what you traditionally do. So stuff like that, kind of eye-opening stuff here. Back to James. Yeah, yes, that will work, but as long as your cameras and all that other stuff are set, and if you have a way to be controlled, it's doable, but just realize you're going to have at least maybe a 10 to 30 second delay. So just be aware of that. Bryant Davis here. Do you have a video on how to adjust the audio settings on the A10 Mini Pro? Not directly, but the video when I'm talking about the Rodecaster being integrated with it, I will cover that in some detail in that. So be on the lookout for that. L. Fisher, with the recent ProPresenter update for streaming, can you output to an external encoder instead of using a software encoder? I currently use the A10 TV Studio out to an AJaytheCEO encoder. I don't know. Honestly, I tested out the ProPresenter stuff. That thing needs some more work. I don't like that. I think me personally, I think ProPresenter needs to stick to presenting stuff, and getting into that other stuff. I think it's a bit much, and other softwares do it a lot better than what they're offering. Give it some more time. It might be better. Me personally, I don't mess with it, but no, currently I don't believe there's a way to do that. Josh, do you have any tips on creating a smart church with smart devices? Actually, yes, I have one video where I talk about what I did with my church in the media booth to do smart devices. To make it easier to remotely turn on stuff. Like our media booth is turned on automatically on a schedule. Or I have it set to you just press one button and it turns everything on to simplify it to that extent. There's a lot of other stuff that I want to do, but that's why I do it in my apartment, in my house, because again, my church thinks I'm trying to turn them into the Starship Enterprise. So I'm only allowed to go but so far. But that's why I try and do this stuff here. But yeah, that's what I would probably suggest for you. Otis, what is going on, my man? Brother Art, when using Google Desktop, how do you hear what is happening? It should actually route to you. In all honesty, that's how it works for me. So like, for example, if I go here, hold on a second. I think I might, my trip to Lynchburg may be canceled because of the weather. But if we go over here real quick and show you what the remote is right now. So if I come in here and I go to our live streaming system, now y'all won't be able to hear it because I don't have it routed into the system. But while you're over here, it should pass over sound natively. It's always has. I was just making sure there wasn't a button that you had to press. So let me change the audio real quick on my system to send it to, and I can't send the audio from I wanted to send my desktop audio to my ATEM, but it's not working. But if I was playing something, it would, I could hear it through natively because it passes the sound over. So let me see if I'll actually do it. So I'm going to turn this audio on. So I'm remoted in. So y'all are hearing, that's coming from the computer. That's at my church. And I didn't have to change nothing. So if I stop it, so I hear it automatically. So it should just pass through your regular speakers or headphone on your local system. And that would be how you could hear whatever is going on. Hopefully that answers your question. Hey, Sam, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad my videos are helping. Yeah, so loud and y'all, the audio will pass through. As long as there's no setting, it will just pass through for you. So back to James, if you have people that are going to be there, then yes, it will work. But and you have somebody controlling the cameras, yes, you can. But just know that there's going to be a delay. So what I normally do is I remote into the same system like I just showed you. I can see the screen that's coming from OBS, which is relatively quick. So you may get down to 1 to a 3 second delay, but I've been able to manage a live stream that way. Thank y'all so much for everybody who's pre-ordered the book. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. John, thank you. I think you were the very first person that pre-ordered it. Thank you. Really, really, really humbled by all of that. Oh, yeah, on a side note, I don't have a picture right now to bring it up. Actually, let me load this picture so I can show you. Actually, this is another thing I'm going to be involved with, and it is open, I believe. Anybody can join this. Hopefully I don't get in trouble if it's not an option. But I was invited to be a speaker at a conference in Jamaica. It's going to be all remote, but this is going to be, it's a Zoom call, and it's going to be February 20th, so next weekend, talking about media in the church. So they reached out to me, and we're going to be helping them out. So really, really honored, man. I mean, I have no words. All I can say is I give God all the praise, honor, and glory for it. I mean, this just started from just helping videos to help my media ministry, and it's the fact of knowing people and helping people from all over the world. It's humbling, to say the least. But that's why I'm trying to give the best I possibly can to y'all, folks. And man, my stuff is really behind here. Thanks to everybody who just recently joined. Mark, Ray, everybody, thank you so much. And I don't even know what page I'm on in my comments here. Okay, that's 3. Page number 2. Yeah, Mark, that's a very good suggestion. You would check out Micro Center if there's one close by. There is one, but it's 2.5 hours away from me. But even there, they're really hard up. And it really stinks. I'm really hoping some other stuff, like even the systems that I'm doing behind me, I'm using a Ryzen 5 1600, which is fast enough to do the live streaming itself. And I'm getting a GT 710. Those video cards are like $30, $40. They're not meant for any encoding. They don't even have it built in. I just need something bare bones just to hook up a monitor to it. That's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, it stinks that don't have any type of affordable. Like again, my 1650 that I have in this system, I got for $150, and that thing is going for like $400 and $600, which is crazy. Let's see here, Darian. In your estimation, any audio quality differences between the A10 Mini, Mini Pro, and TV Studio? I haven't noticed it because it all depends on your source. I would think the TV Studio would be better, but it all depends on what you hook up to it. Like right now, the preamps and everything that's in this Rode Podcaster is way better than me just doing a direct connection. But again, when I hook the Rode Wireless Go up to this is awesome by itself. It all depends. And especially, I used to have a Yamaha mixer hooked up, and I can adjust it and do everything there. So it all really depends. Really all depends. Man, my phone is going off here. Let me put it on silent for right now. I'm monitoring it because I don't know if the weather's going to get worse or not, and my daughter's at school, so they said they're going to send a message and we might have to pick her up. So sorry for the interruptions here. Yeah, Josh, the echo is because the Rode device is actually acting as a interface and speaker for my other computer. So right here is the computer audio, and I have it down. I actually have it mix minus, so it's not including this audio, because if I did, y'all would hear an echo. I have it so I can hear what's going on. But then we got these other tabs here, so I can hit one of these action buttons here, and we can... So that's cool. Then we have got laugh tracks and cheering and all this other stuff. Really cool. You can program this. I don't know. It's like a kid in a candy shop. It's some really cool stuff. Let's see. Off speaker is better. Yep. Back to Lyle here. And I'm getting ready to say, Lyle, I'm gonna ask you just a random question. You're not a Marine, are you? I remember going to boot camp with a guy who was Lyle, and I haven't spoken with him in over 20 years. I don't know why that just popped in my head. I actually bumped into him after boot camp. It was wild. But anyway, can you delete your Google account after you set up Chrome Remote Desktop? No, you can't. But what I do in mine, I have my account as a secondary account on the computer, but I have it password protected. So I log in, set up Chrome Remote Desktop so I can log in, and then I switch to the main account that needs to be used there in the group. So if anybody tries to switch, the first thing it's going to ask is what's the password to the account, and they can't get into it. Or another way you could do it is to log into the admin account of the computer, make a secondary lower non-admin account for everybody else, set up remote desktop, everything inside of the admin account, and then that one is always going to be there, but no one can get to it. I've done that as well too. So that's another workaround that you could try. Thank you again so much, y'all. So I really, really, really appreciate it. L. Fisher here. Audio should come from mixer to ATEM. Video should come from camera to ATEM. No audio should come from the camera. Hope this helps. Yeah. Now, I mean, I agree with you, but it could work. It depends on your camera. Like, I know this camera, this Pocket Cinema camera, I could run XLR right into the camera, or some of the Canon XA 11s, or one of those professional ones that have mics coming in. It could work that way. So yes, it's a good practice to not send them to the camera if you have that option, but it could work if you don't have any other option. So especially with the ATEM Mini, because I mean that's kind of like what they were designed for. But if you're in the big television studio one, use the devices built for that. So yes, I agree. See, Mike, you already got it because it was in the communications we got back and forth. So you good. Josh, you read my mind, man. Just a little note. I put in a good word for you, and I'm gonna put it this way. Josh, they reached out to me, and I have a meeting with them next week. So, yay! Thank y'all for the people who actually did that. I really appreciate it. Joshua, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Dwayne D here. Our live stream randomly loses frames, freezing the video. What would you say would be the top 3 reasons this could be? I know it could be anything, but want to start with the top. The processor is not fast enough. Your graphics card is not fast enough. It's mainly for that. If it freezes like that, it's normally your CPU or GPU can't keep up with it. And then after that, number 3 would be your upload speed is not consistent. And it's dropping like crazy. It'll say it's 10 megabits per second, then drop to 2, then back up. It's not consistent. That's what I would think would be the top 3. CPU, GPU, upload speed. Uh-oh. Pastor Alicia, what are you doing? For those who want to pre-order stuff, like I said, again, letting y'all know it's May before this comes out. Or I'll let you know if it comes out faster. But what you could do is you can go to books.ajhomes.com, and that's where you can get it from. Monty, excuse me. Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. Greater Zion Media Ministry. Thank you so much. Alicia, do the best sound comes from the vocals or soundboard. I'm looking at the X32, but if the singers are not great, will it really make a difference? Man, if you got bad singers, I don't. Where is it at? It's a video. I can't even show it. I don't want to get in trouble. But there's a video. Look it up when you get a chance on YouTube. What sound engineers actually do. That is hilarious, and I think that will answer your question about if you got bad singers. Let me see if I can find it. What sound engineers? Yeah, there it goes. What sound engineers really do. I can't play the audio, but this video right here. This right here is hilarious. And for anybody who's doing audio, you will understand. Let's see. A lot of good tips, people going back and forth inside, answering questions. Thank you. Back to Samuel. Not to go too personal, since the pandemic, the need for this work has been great in my area. What would you suggest as compensation for putting together live streaming kits and installs? Well, it all depends. I don't hide the fact that what I do for my rate, I charge $150 an hour when I'm doing installs for churches and stuff like that. And that's normally, and it depends on the scale of it. For a streaming system, I mean, it takes me an hour to put everything together. So I normally charge people at price, additional $150 for labor, and then on average $75 for shipping, to ship anywhere in the continental United States. I do not ship outside of the continental United States, just because you start getting into lithium batteries and all this other stuff. And then the shipping is going to cost about almost 3 to 4 times what it normally would be. So the computers maybe like $1,000 with everything, and then you're paying $500 in shipping. It's not worth it. That's just me. Hope that helps. And if you need any other questions like that, hit me up in the email, which that's what I didn't do. If y'all have some questions that are outside of this and I don't get to them, make sure you hit me up at questions@ajhomes.com. I still haven't changed this. Oh, I'm pointing to the wrong one. It actually says 72 hours. But yeah, if you hit me up in the email there if you want some more information. But give me some time to answer y'all back. Joshua here. How do you compare ProPresenter 7 with Proclaim? The world around me is raving about ProPresenter, but I think Proclaim is way more practical. Yeah, it all depends. That was the same issue. We ended up moving from Easy Worship to ProPresenter because that's what everybody was talking about. And to be honest, we got it because Easy Worship was just trash at the time. They were in a really problematic situation when they were trying to update it. They did an update, and then they didn't even support the version that we had anymore. And then when we went to upgrade, it was actually $100 more than what ProPresenter was. So that's the reason why we went. Now, in all honesty, if I had known about Worship Extreme, or now Presenter by Worship Extreme, I would have gone with that, because everything that ProPresenter 7 offers, we aren't even close to using. So like, we paid for a Ferrari. Not that it was expensive, but it's like we paid for a Ferrari, but all we do is drive to 7-Eleven that's right around the corner. You're not leveraging everything that you possibly can. So I'm not about shoehorning anybody into software. If you know your ministry better than anybody else, if it's more practical to you, stay to that. So I don't really suggest anything unless the just software is just horrible. That's the only time I have an opinion about that. Okay. So Loud, no, you're not a Marine. Okay, I got you. J. Jones Productions. I was getting ready to say, if you said your name was J. Jonah Jameson, I was like, that would have been awesome. For the Spider-Man fans out there. Can you add pop-up text in OBS Studio? I'm trying to add, change, and display text on the spot during the stream. Yes, you can. What you will want to do is make a text source, and you want to reference it as an external source of editing. So let me cut over once OBS opens up for me. All right, so if I come over here, what I would do is say we're going to make a text here, and of course it puts it on the wrong screen, and just call this test. All right, so we would do a text source here. You know, we'll say something like this, right? So normally you would have your text like this, but what you could do is come in here and say, I want this to read from an external file, and we're going to point this to the file we just did. Now you want to make sure you format it right. So now, as you see, there's nothing in here. So now I can open this up and say, hello, J. Jones Productions. Let's save it. And boom, it does it automatically. But that's why you want to make sure your font is right. Now, there are settings inside of here to where you can lock the size and transformation so it can't move anywhere and stuff like that. You want to play around with that so it won't resize on you. But there's settings for you to do that. So that would be the easiest way for you could do that. Now, I don't know if you're talking about like pop-up, like it just does like that. But that would be the easiest thing. Or you could just have the text like this and then set it to a trigger or a button for Stream Deck, and then you can just press it and turn the source on and off. That could work as well too. So hopefully that helps. And I don't know why my nose is sniffling. Yeah, Lyle, it's interesting. Yeah, I've had it was two Lyles that were in boot camp with me. One of them during hitting skills, where we like do boxing and stuff like that. He got hit and kind of got caught off guard and got busted his kneecap. And we graduated before he even got out from medical. And then there was another guy who was in my platoon as well too. And he was actually in the same MOS that I was in. I was a communications technician out in 29 Palms, California, McCaxey. Let's see. Back here. What is the most efficient way for a church with 1 to 2 cameras, 1 computer, and ATEM Mini Pro to play a video from their computer that's heard on their live stream and in the sanctuary? Well, that's easy. We've been doing that here. What you do here, you would, especially in your computer, what I would do is I would have my presentation software to play all that stuff, and that would make it easy. So like, for example, if I turn this off and I'm going to open up Presenter by Worship Extreme, and I have it routed to my second. So I have all my cameras like y'all are already seeing me adjust to. So I can cut over to this camera right there, or my overhead right there. That works. But then if I want to play a video, let me get something that's easy. Now, there's no music to this, obviously. And see, now I told you I was getting ready to get tired of the fact I had this picture-in-picture still staying, and I want it turned off. I would just have it cut over to here, and now this is playing through my presentation software. Now, there's no videos on it, but what I could do is let me add a video. Well, y'all ain't going to be able to hear it anyway because I don't have the sound routed so y'all can hear it right now. But that would be the easiest way because it already has everything done. And if you want everybody else to hear it, that's one issue that you might have to work through. And that's what I hope they do as an update. But the stinky thing about that is if they do this update, they're going to have to make another version of the ATEM, which I don't like them keep doing, reiterating stuff like that, especially the people already have it. What you want to do is if you want to keep your multi-view for you to see, that's your HDMI out. That's what I'm doing right now. Y'all can't see it, but I have a multi-view monitor right here that's in front of me. So I can see that. But the USB out is going to my streaming system. That's what's going online. And then also inside the streaming system, I have the streaming system send the program out, the same thing that's going to the live stream, to an external monitor, which is right here in front of me, so that I can see what's going out. So it can work. Why do I feel like I got to sneeze? Man. Sorry, folks. So hopefully that helps. PJ, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. My church uses 2 iPhones and an Android for $5 for the pro version of Droid Cam app. With the Droid Cam app plug-in, I was able to make a multi-setup. Yep, exactly. It doesn't take forever or a lot of cash to get this stuff done. Awesome. Glad that is working great for you. Back to Josh. Did I not answer your question? Following up on the smart church question, would you recommend a smart speaker like a Google Assistant, or which one would you prefer? Me personally, I installed a Google Assistant just because I was already using that, and that's what I work. Honestly, either one can work. The reason I stuck with the Google Assistant is because we had a Google account, and just like I was saying with the other question about remote desktop, I have all of those linked to that account. So it's not just me. If I decide to leave, everybody has access to it. That's the reason I did it that way. But honestly, you can make a Google account, and then have it go to the Amazon Echo. It'll work too. It's honestly his preference, because at this point, almost all of them are doing the exact same thing. Edward, what is your recommendations on out-of-the-box church live streaming computer? It's kind of hard, because you would have thought after all this stuff, they would still try and do this, get some systems to help out. But let me just do this with y'all. I don't know what y'all are close to. I'm just going to use Best Buy because that's the closest thing possible. If you happen, I actually was trying to do this video, but then they just didn't have anything in the store, so it didn't work. This was well before COVID started hitting. So if I was looking for a streaming computer, remember the stats, the specs don't change. So let's go over here. All right. Now, please don't fall for the gaming PC. Yeah, the gaming PC will get you as close as what you need for the specs that match, but don't always fall for that, because they say gaming, but some of those gaming systems are not gaming systems. So let's look at computer towers first. And all right, so let's look at this right now. So this is a Verizon. Let's look at this one. This one. Well, no, I'm not going to look at that second one. That's an i5. No, don't mess with that. Well, no, let me open that up so I can just show you in comparison. and then I'll show this one. All right, so this is a Ryzen 3 3200, I'm assuming, because this is kind of like the specs of something that I would build. Yeah, so that's a 3200G. So this processor with this onboard graphics card is fast enough, but my issue is this. I don't like the fact that they don't show you what the back of the computer is, because there is no computer to date that comes with a capture card built in or with it by default. So you need one. So they don't show you the back of it, which is kind of hard to see what type of expansion slots are on it or are available. Maybe somebody else took a picture of the back. Yeah, no one shows a picture of the back. But this could work. Me personally, I think it's under spec. I would rather have double the memory and double the hard drive space, because 256, you can get a 256 SSD right now for $20. So, and a good capture card is at least 200. Throw an A10 mini on top of that, that's 300. So you're still under 1,000. That's option number one, off the shelf. This Esperion, let me do this. And I'm doing a whole lot more stuff than I normally do. So CPU, let's do this. Versus the Ryzen 3 3200G. I do not like i5s because they're underpowered in comparison. So let's look at the specs. Yeah, it's cheaper just because this used to be $99. But just like Samuel was saying, everything is marked up to high heaven. So if we scroll down here and let's look at the specs of this system. And it's not giving me the detail like I want. So let's do this instead. Just look up the CPU itself and see. So first off, it's still on a 14 nanometer process. Okay, this has 6 cores and 12 threads. So maybe that might be good. But let's see, what type of graphics card? Oh, you can actually choose what you want to go with it. So this is what I was talking about from the back. Can you add anything into this? It looks like you can, but the graphics card is on the motherboard. So I don't see what that normally means. It's not a 3D type of graphics card that can actually do. Yeah, this is Intel no, that ain't fast enough. If you got that system, you would need a dedicated graphics card to handle it, and you don't. Maybe it could process and handle the streaming on the CPU itself. I just don't know. And then we got this one, which has the 1660 by itself would be more than enough to handle the stream. That's overpriced for only 8 gigs of memory. That's me personally. A 240, this and that. I mean, I build systems that are double these specs, and I don't charge this much. Well, when the stuff was available. I don't know. That's just me. So let me know if that helped y'all. Man, I don't mean to keep y'all hanging here, but thank y'all for hanging out with me. Ryzen, PJ, Ryzen all day long over Intel. My 18-month-old loves your intro music and dances every time I watch your videos. Is it possible to send a file of the music? Sure. Send me an email at questions@ajayhomes.com and I will send that to you. But you cannot use it because you need to have a license for it. I have a license and it's locked to my account. But yeah, I can send it to you. Greater Zion Media. Volunteer training, how to translate to practical application. Actually, my book is going to cover that. Because if we went back to the circle process circle, I'm still trying to play around with the name of this. But if I go back here, The idea is you define the purpose so that everybody in the ministry, even the people who are not involved, know what's going on. So that helps if you have those people in your church meetings who are naysayers that don't know nothing about what they're talking about. The purpose is well documented so anybody knows what the purpose of this is. Then you review it, thoroughly review the process, then you find equipment for it, then you do training and strategies for whatever you're just trying to implement, not just hardware. It could be training. It could be anything like that. Developing a media team. That's the very first one that I start off with. And then you implement it, and you do this cycle twice before you start doing anything. And I don't know if anybody is familiar with Six Sigma. When I was in the corporate world, I was Six Sigma certified, and they talk about a certain process of how you do that. Not that I'm using that as a reference from this, but it's similar to where you run 2 iterations of this before you really evaluate, are we going in a good direction? And we just don't go buy nothing without doing this process in some way, shape, or form. Let's see. Where's looking for my chat questions. Oh, there it goes. Will the Stream Deck Mini make it easier for a one-man setup? I'm a one-man setup, and that's how I'm using mine. So, yeah, I'm doing all the stuff that y'all are seeing right here. So, I'm bringing up my comments right here. I can bring up my information here, my email, the Facebook stuff. All of that is done inside of here. So yes, it can, but you have to really organize how you want this stuff to work. So it's not just this is going to make it easier. You need to have it planned out in your head how you want this to work, and then you go from there. So yes, I do like it. Pastor Alicia was like, what are your thoughts on the X32 soundboard? They're great. I actually installed one at 5th Street. My sister's church has them, the X32, the big one. I installed the compact. They're great. You can get really detailed with them, or you can set it up where it's really simple to where you don't have to do much of anything with them. On a side note, Pastor Alicia, she's I'm gonna mess with her because she sent me a message talking about that she always used to ask this one person to sing for her. And then she sent me a message yesterday. She was like, "Is that your sister?" I was like, "Yes." "Oh, small world." I was like, "So yeah." Advent Flame Media. I feel like I gotta blow my nose. Sorry about that. What is your opinion on the LED power bulb being used to give accent lighting on some panels on the side of the stage? Honestly, I can't even give you an opinion of that because as much as I really would want to do that, my pastor is old school. Adding fog, lights, all that other stuff is out there. So honestly, I can't even answer that one. So sorry about that. I would like to try it, but I don't want to speak on anything that I haven't used. I think it looks cool for some of the other places. I can't really form an opinion on it because I've really never done it myself. And question number 2, we are considering adding backlight to our stage. We use a 6500 Kelvin for key and fill light. What would you suggest? Colored backlight or white light? Thanks a million. Yeah, sorry. That one I don't know. But there is somebody in this page on this thread that could help you, and that is Mr. Josh. Josh could help you with that information. Brian wants to know any recommendations for camera speakers. Oh, let me follow up. Computer speakers. I mean, it all depends. I mean, what do you need the computer speakers for? The ones that I have in my church were just $12 ones that I got because I just need to hear something. I'm not doing any studio type stuff. Like for what I have here, I mean, I'm using this mixer and I'm using headphones for me to edit. I used to have a surround sound system speakers for my computer. I just don't use them anymore. Yeah. Billy, hello. Y'all are welcome. Let's go over here real quick. Worshiper Stream question. Any ideas on how to use the software for a scrolling teleprompter application? I don't think, honestly, the only way I would do it, which is kind of counterintuitive, is to actually link Worship Extreme, do a browser page to a teleprompter website. And you could do it that way. That's what I would do. The only issue I think with that is you can't control it directly. So I don't think they have any scrolling features in Worship Extreme directly, currently. Video streams. No, I have not. We gave away the YOLO box to a subscriber. But she was actually on here earlier talking about she's having some issues with the SD card. So I don't know if she's using that version or not. But we'll cycle back with her on that. Back to PJ. Would you prefer to split the task on live streaming to a bunch of people or just make everything easier? Honestly, just like with computers, I don't like everything being on one person. I developed our media booth that one person could do it all by themselves, but they shouldn't do it all by themselves because it's draining to jump all over the place. But again, that's just at the level of complexity of where our stuff is. So that's the reason why I say that. Why did my cable fall over here? Yeah, it all depends on what type of stuff you're trying to do. I'm trying to move to the point where we can actually, one person could effectively do everything where it's transparent. And no matter what your setup is, you could do it. It just needs to have plenty of practice. But find out where you're at. If you only have one person, don't add a lot of complexity. Do it, build it to where it can be done just by one person. So then when you add more people, it makes it easier. Back to John Cook here. What kind of lighting would I require to light up our stage but not be in the way? Not colored lighting. Yeah, unfortunately, lighting, that's not my thing yet. I'm still trying to get lighting at my church. So all we got are I'm still trying to get them to move to LEDs in our 35-foot high ceilings so that we don't have to keep replacing them. But yeah, I'm sorry, I can't really talk to those right now. See, yeah, Otis, see, that's why I like them. But see, this is my own personal opinion. It's not all, I'm not 100% right. But when you're selling computers, but you don't show the back of that stuff, to me, that means you don't know nothing about selling computers. That's just me. Because, yeah, you can show the front, and that's for, I guess when you're selling a product, you want to show it to everybody. Like me, on my website, for my computers that I sell, I don't show them because I'm telling you what's in them. And I can start adding those pictures if anybody wanted to do that on my company website where I do that. But yeah, that's just me. I don't know. And I kind of put my foot in my mouth because I was like, well, AJ, you don't even do that on your website. I was like, well, I have to start doing that as well too. Edward wants to know what would be my dream live streaming setup. Honestly, 10 PTZ cameras that are AI controlled, that I don't have to do nothing to them. Boom mics, boom cameras, and all this other stuff like that. That's what personally I would like, with POV shots on the musicians, choirs, baptismal pools, stuff like that. All synced up, LED wall on the back and on the front of the church. Yeah, I could go in. I actually did a video on what I would do with $1,000, and I had another one for $10,000 and $100,000 for media ministry. Maybe I'll revisit that again. Sean, yeah, another fellow musician. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I had some time before choir rehearsal, so I love that song. That was one of my favorite songs. I remember writing an arrangement of that when I was in band in middle school, high school, and in college. I need to find that somewhere. Greater Zion. We record our Sunday service to premiere later in the day on YouTube. Recently, the upload, It's taking 2 hours, 90 minutes or less. Service, just lower thirds and graphics. What can be slowing the upload speed? Honestly, who's your ISP? I don't know. I mean, you got to think when you're doing it as well, too. It's just like if everybody tries to go live at a certain time, between 10, 11, and 12 are the busiest times on Sundays. Try and do it as an off time. That's the only thing I could think. But at the same way, maybe everybody's doing the same thing that you're doing at the same time. I don't really know off the top of my head for that. Richard, no, I have not. But there is a guy that I know I met on Facebook that he actually does that. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But yeah, he actually owns a company that installs them. But no, I personally have not. Grace, what cable and settings do we need to set up in order for the Wireless Go to work with the A10 Mini? Thank you. You really only need one. So here, if my Wireless Go, I just have this plugged in, the same cable that came with it. And I plug it into your A10 Mini, make sure it's set to microphone, and then put it on the lowest setting, dB setting, because these things are super loud. So put it on the lowest one, and that's all I really did, and it works fine for me. So let me see. Let me attempt to plug this in right now and just show you, and I'll show you the other settings that I have with mine. Plug that in. Turn both of these on. All right, so I have mine at the lowest setting right now, and I'm going to cut over to this. All right, so hopefully y'all can hear me with this. I can't hear myself because I'm not routed through here, but let me know. And if we go over here to our software, for me, if I go here, let's see my audio. See, I'm hot on here, so let me bring it down some. So maybe around here. And if I go to my audio settings, all I'm really doing is I just have mine as microphone, and then my Rode Podcaster is set to line. That's it. I don't change nothing with mine. Let me switch back. So yeah, you really shouldn't have to be anything major on that. I would just say make sure that your your dB settings on the Rode Wireless are on its lowest setting. Let's see. See greater. So greater design, I'm not exactly sure how to do that. I need some more info because I don't know if it's your laptop that's the issue, is your internet the issue, or it might just be YouTube. I really don't know. Need some more info on that. Back to Josh. Do you recommend cameras on tripods in the middle of the aisle or mounted on the back? Mounted on the back wall. That's just me. Get them up out of the way. And that also depends on as long as your camera can handle that distance. Because I'm just thinking right now that when we get back to where more people are coming in, do you want it in a way to be interference? It all depends. Me personally, I always mount mine in the back if I have the option to do it. We got a bunch of questions that pop in here that pushed my stuff back. Let me catch up to where everything is. Back to admin Flame Media. We're changing, you know what, I know what it is. I don't have water. That's what that is. We're changing our sound system. Some say we should go digital, some say analog. The fact is we don't have anyone trained to use digital. We're considering the Allen and Heath. Okay. Yeah, it all depends. Honestly, I like the digital just because it makes it easier. But yeah, it was a while for me to set. It took me some serious study to learn just how to get it set up. And then any further use with it, probably take even more with that. But totally understand. Find out where y'all strengths are and work inside of that. Now, or unless you wanted to just force everybody to learn in that direction. I mean, that's how I did with DaVinci Resolve. That's what I did with this stuff. I just jumped in and I had to learn how to swim while I was getting thrown in. That was just me. All About Christ here is saying, I take live calls during my podcast using my cell phone. I want people to hear me directly from my phone rather than a mic from my phone. What do you suggest? Well, I don't know if you just joined. I just did that with the Rodecaster Pro. I just did a phone call with somebody here, and this actually will connect to my phone over Bluetooth, or I can connect it and you can hear them. Everybody on here was able to hear them talk, and I just talked through my mic here and they were able to hear. Now, this is a big investment, but if you're doing podcast stuff, this is awesome for that. Now, I just answered this question, but I'll say it again. I prefer PCs just because they are more flexible and you can go to a store and get parts and upgrade it compared to Mac stuff that really doesn't offer you to go to any store that you choose, Best Buy, Amazon, Newegg, whatever, and get parts to upgrade it. Can they both do it? Yes. I will always lean towards a PC over a Mac in streaming. That's just me. Otis was saying, what type of rack did I have behind me? I have a Navapoint 12U rack. That's what that is. It was like $150, I think. Super Joy. Back to PJ, wants to know, would you recommend compressing recorded videos to YouTube? I'm concerned about potential quality loss. No, don't compress them because YouTube is already going to compress them anyway. I know Marcus HB, he actually did a video where he uploaded the same video 1,000 times to YouTube, and it became, you can't even understand what in the world it's doing. So yeah, send it as the highest quality that you possibly can into YouTube. They're going to compress it anyway. So just don't compress it again, because now you're compressing on top of it, and it's probably going to get worse. Billy would like to know, do the amount of scenes created put a strain on your computer sources? It depends on what type of source you have in your scene. You know, you don't want to go overboard with them, but yeah, it is dependent on how much your computer can handle. So you wouldn't want to go way overboard. Any recommendations on 3D church renderings companies or expansion projects? No, I don't know. Now, I used to do CAD 3D editing. I wanted to be an architect when I was like in high school, so I knew of the first, not the first, but iterations of CAD. I used to do that in high school and college. It is significantly different now, so no, unfortunately. I would honestly try and hit, I don't know of any firms that do that, but I mean, if you needed renderings and stuff like that, you could probably hit up some folks on Fiverr, and they may be able to do something like that for you. Now, I know my phone has been blowing up. I think it's with the church in Lynchburg that's trying to call me. Probably wants to cancel some stuff. So I'm gonna take 2 more questions, and then I'm gonna be up and out of here. Alicia, when is the next roundtable? It is this Sunday coming up. If you're on the Facebook group, we have a roundtable call where it's kind of like media ministries from all over the world. We just sit down and talk, and we take off our armor, and we can help each other work together. It's not just me talking. It's all of us working together. It's easy to join. like Josh will say it, because we said it before, anybody is welcome to join. Just answer the questions. Just don't live stream inside the group, because you will be kicked out instantly. This group is not for spam. That's the reason why I got that in the book, how to use social media effectively and not spam people. This group is to help train media ministries for us to work together, not for you to spam us with your church service. That's great. I'm assuming everybody in this group, in our Facebook group, is saved, baptized, filled with the Holy Ghost, fire baptized, all that other stuff. All the cliches. We already got that. We don't need you to share your sermon. We learn how to deliver our sermon more effectively using technology. That's what that group is for. So that's why we say post that live stream without no context. Now, it's a difference to post your live stream, a short section of it, like, hey, I'm having some issue with my sound. Can y'all look at this little section and let me know what I can do? Or look at the design that we did from our live stream, so we can get input to share. Not just, let me take a cut from my book as well too, talking about the social media. It's one thing to train your congregation to learn how to do watch parties, to share with other people. That's step number one. Step number two is, if there's no context on top of that, it's spam. In other words, hey, share your church's stuff and be like, hey, y'all, I want to share my church's stuff today. You know, pastor is preaching on this, this, and this. You're giving context, not just throwing up your church's live stream on a pole on the side of the street saying, call this number or rip off a piece of paper. That's what it is. We need to grow beyond that. Put some context to it. Why would anybody want to come and listen if you're just throwing it inside their face without even telling them what it's about? So that's a little sneak peek of some of that stuff that we talk about in training your congregation, as well as not spamming. Your ministry needs to stop spamming social media. All about Christ. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Like my laptop that Chuck suggested to me can handle it. I like desktops because of expandability. If you got a laptop, the laptop, as long as you got the right specs, it can handle your live stream perfectly fine. I've done weddings, football games, all that stuff with it. I just sit back and think my goal is to try and help give suggestions to use a desktop for expandability, but your ministry and whatever level that you are. So a laptop is perfectly fine as long as you got the right specs for it. And Josh said it. I'm going to take these 1, 2, 3, these last 4, and then, actually the last 3. Thank you, PJ. I know you said it's early. Thank you. I'm glad you were able to join. And he's from the Philippines, and he's saying it is 1:45 a.m. in the morning. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's knock out 3 last questions. The roundtable, Advent Flame Media, is going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern, from 5 p.m. to, no, is it 5 p.m.? No, I'm sorry. I had it too early. It's a 7. I can't even remember. I thought it was, I don't know. If you're in the Facebook group, you'll see. I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry. Let's knock out these last couple of questions here. Hi, our church laptop, the Lenovo L340, has 1 HDMI input and 3 inputs. We got an USB HDMI adapter to use for our projector and the HDMI adapter to use for a folding screen. I'm waiting for the next part of the question. It got cut off. Let me see. Oh, I'm trying to read the rest of it. Oh, it was retracted. Okay, I got you. Parker, my apologies. Would the Rodecaster Pro work with a Sennheiser EW112P G4, an omnidirectional wireless microphone? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. I plan on hooking my Rode Wireless Go up to this when I work on add some additional recording stuff for when I talk about it. But yeah, it'll work with it. There's so much hype for the Mac M1. People now talking about using it for church streams. What's your take on it? Like I said, I mean, yeah, it can work fine. I just don't, the Mac Mini, I don't like it personally for expandability. Can it do what it needs to be done? Yes. But can it still do that maybe 5, 6, 7 years from now? That's where my main question is. Last one, Grace is saying, what problem should I fix? YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain the smooth streaming. That is your upload speed, which most likely is not consistent. That will be causing that. But I think that is about it for today, folks. I think I can't even tell how long we've been going. We've been going for almost 2 hours. So giving y'all some extra doses since we've been out for a little bit with vacations and all this other stuff like that. Thank y'all so much for everybody who has pre-ordered. I will let y'all know. And just to let y'all know, I don't think this is going to happen, but if the book never came out, you will be refunded 100% of what you got. So I really appreciate it. I want to be in full transparency with y'all. You know, that is going, all of that is going to fund me getting the book to you at a discounted price and to pay for the shipping. That's what that is for. And like I said, I will have sign it for you, address it to you, ship it to you, and you'll also be listed in the book as a thank you for helping it be done. If you're interested in it, you can check it out at books.ajhomes.com if you want to pre-order it, or you can just register just in the email so you'll be notified when it becomes active. If you haven't, make sure you like this video. It helps notify YouTube that, hey, something's hot's going on here, and it pushes that video out to other people. Check out my other videos. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't, and you got that bell clicked so that way you get notified when we come out with other videos. Again, if you have any questions that you need me to answer, hit me up at questions@ajhomes.com. Please give me some time to answer them. And now, let me be the not so nice part of me. Let me do this for here. I have no problem with trying to help y'all. I do the best that I possibly can, but do not blow my email up trying to get an answer for something that really is meant for a consultation. All right. Consultations, you can set that up with me at ajhomes.com/consultations. But if you're sending me 50 emails to try and get something, that's where we really need to do a consultation. All right. I'm trying to help y'all as much as I possibly can, but please don't spam me as well. And then also, please don't send me a message talking about we're a small church located here and you doing well on YouTube, so buy me this stuff. You will get blocked, deleted instantly for stuff like that. Come on, man. We're all trying to work together to get this done. And I don't do that handout mentality like that. I will bless when God directs me to, but when you call telling me to give you something, no, that doesn't work that way. Anyway, beyond the negative stuff, I want to thank all the patrons who made this stuff possible. Thank you so much for supporting. You can support me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. If you are the top tier, at $30, you get a free consultation with me every month at your leisure. And I also want to thank our YouTube members. You can click the join button below to help contribute as well. Everything that goes into online giving, the books, the merch, everything goes back to help fund this ministry, this YouTube channel, to help train y'all, to do giveaways, do all this other stuff. And to let y'all know, because somebody already asked, when's your next giveaway? The next giveaway is at 40,000 subscribers. And what we're going to be doing based off of what people asked is we are giving away one of these Sony ZV-1 cameras. That's going to be the camera that we give away that could be used for blogging, but it can also be used for live streaming. Great camera, 4K, awesome camera. That's what we're going to be giving away to some lucky person. When we get closer, I would do, actually, I'm going to do this one different. I'm going to do that one completely live. You're not going to register. I'm going to do a video. You have to leave a comment on that, and then some of the stuff that I do will pull a random comment. That's how that's going to be done. So I will let y'all know about that when we get close. And I'm trying to find where we're at right now. I think we are close to hitting 35,000. I think. Yeah, we're like 84 people away from 35,000 subscribers. So once we hit 40,000, excuse me, that's when we're going to do our next giveaway. Then after that is 50,000, and we go from there. So anyway, thank y'all so much, folks. If you haven't, make sure you join the Facebook group to be a part of our roundtable call coming up this Sunday. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Really appreciate it. If no one has ever told you, I appreciate you for all the stuff that you're doing to learning and growing, to learn to be better e-missionaries, to use this as a tool to minister to people all over the world. The message does not change, just the method. Thanks for watching, folks. We will see you on the next video later.